Hey, welcome back. I'm Shane from Green Hills Guitar Studio, and I just changed the strings on my guitar and thought I'd make a quick video to show you how to tune your guitar by ear or to a tuner, but basically how it works so that you understand what you're tuning to and why. So I drew this diagram here on my fancy whiteboard. This is your thick string. This is the low E. If you hit that string open, so this is your nut, so if you just hit the string open, that's E. The fifth string open is A. The fourth string is D. The fourth string is D. The third string open is G. The second string open is B. The thin string is E. So this diagram, it's like you're looking at the guitar like this. So thick string E, high E, so E, A, D, G, B, E. Now, these strings are new, so they're kind of just not staying in tune great, but that's fine. It'll serve its purpose. So if you play the thick string open, that's an E note. This is your first fret, that's F, F sharp, or G flat. G is the third fret, A is the fifth fret. So this A, if you go to the fifth fret, should sound the same as the fifth string open. They should both be A's. So here's your E. The fifth fret is A. So if you hold that down and hit it against the next string open, so I'm hitting this, you can hear how they are the same pitch. If this fifth string were flat, you would hear it, and I would tune it up until it matches that A. If it were sharp, I would tune it down until you hear that beating, the pitch beating against the other pitch because it's out of tune. I'm bringing that beating, that out of tuneness together. So you can hear it. Okay, so it'll play out the same way on the next strings. So the fifth string open is A. The fifth string at the fifth fret, that's a D note. So you need that D to match the D on your fourth string. Now the D string, we just said, is the fourth string open. The fifth fret on the D string is a G note. So that needs to match against the third string open, G. Those should be the same pitch. Now because the way the guitar is tuned in standard tuning, E to A is an interval of a fourth. A to D is a fourth. D to G is a fourth. G to B is a third. B to E is a fourth. So this is a fourth, this is a fourth. Because just the way the guitar is tuned, when you tune here from this third string to the second string, you have to put your finger in the fourth fret. And then on the second string, fifth fret, that's E. The next string open is E. So this is what it would look like. Fifth fret, I'm going to get my A's. Fifth fret. Those are my D's. Then G, fifth fret. This is the one that you have to kick back, fourth fret. Second string open, that's a B. That's an E. So I got those in tune. Not this. Those are your E's. So if you get any of these strings in tune, like say you know that your fourth string is in tune and that's a D. Well, you can tune from there, because if your fourth string open is a D, your fifth string at the fifth fret has to be a D. If you know that's in tune, then you know your fifth string open is A, so you have to match the A at the fifth fret on the sixth string to A. So once you get one string in tune, you can tune the others. And then the other thing is, if you're playing by ear, or you're going to learn a song on a recording, like a lot of the early Van Halen stuff is tuned sharp a quarter step. So if you're reading tab and it sounds weird, it's because it's a quarter step off. So you need to tune to the recording. So if you know the chords in a song, or you know what key it's in, or if you're just hunting and trying to figure out what the root is, what the key is, if you decide, hey, I know this, it sounds like this song is in A, but it sounds like it's not matching with the recording, but it's close. So you may have to take your A and tune it a little sharp so you're in tune with the recording. And then if you know that this fifth string, A, for example, is now in tune with the recording, but you had to go a little sharp, now you can tune the rest of your guitar sharp and it'll match the recording, because you will tune the same ways you did here. You got the fifth string in tune. You could tune the next string, the next string. So fifth, 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 fourth, fifth. So you could do that with any recording. You could tune to a piano, you could tune to any other instrument, bass, it doesn't matter. You just have to get one of these strings in tune, and then you can tune the other strings to it. It's not uncommon in like on Stones records or blues stuff, a lot of kind of like older records, that things are a little out of tune, like kind of pre-digital, where maybe the tape was sped up in mastering, maybe they just weren't totally in tune when they did it, maybe they just tuned to a piano in the studio, or just happened to tune to the bass player and it was a little flat or a little sharp, but they were in tune with each other. So they tuned as a unit, they tuned together, but it may not be in tune with your tuner. We'll get to the tuner in a second. So if you go to the symphony, the oboist is the one that tunes the ensemble, and everyone tunes to that. So this isn't just for guitar, it's for everything. You want to be in tune as a group, and if you're in tune together, then it's going to be fine. If you're trying to tune to something like on a recording, you need to make sure that you know what key it's in, and if it's a little flat or a little sharp, you're going to have to adjust. When I first moved to Nashville, I went to the Bluebird Cafe to see John Hyatt was playing. And if you don't know who John Hyatt is, you need to listen to, you really need to check him out. He did some recordings with Ry Cooder, Bring the Family. He's an amazing singer-songwriter. So John Hyatt was playing, and Randy Scruggs, who died a couple years ago, Earl Scruggs was his father, and Randy was a really, really talented multi-instrumentalist, producer, won some Grammys. He had a really amazing career, a really great musician, and unfortunately passed when he was 64. So it was John Hyatt, Randy Scruggs, and Amy Grant, and I can't remember who the other person was in the round. But it was amazing. It was just these folks sitting in a circle playing songs, and Amy Grant went to play a song, and she couldn't get her guitar in tune. She was having a hard time just tuning to herself. And it's Amy Grant. You can get away with that if you're Amy Grant, but you should really figure out how to tune your guitar. And I think she was also trying to play with someone else because they were going to sing harmony. So she was trying to get her guitar in tune and couldn't quite find it. So eventually she just asked John Hyatt to tune her guitar, and he just, whipped it into shape doing this, tuned it to, I think it was his guitar, and made sure she was in tune, and then away they went. So being able to tune your guitar is really important. Being able to tune to other people is really important. So someone may just give you could ask for a low E, and then you could tune to yourself, or you could tune these 4 strings to a bass guitar. You'll be an octave higher, but you could get your pitches here and then tune yourself. And then another thing you want to be aware of is when you put a capo on the guitar, the pressure changes from this nut, because when you put a capo on, you're effectively moving the nut. If it's too tight, you'll be sharp. So what I do is I get my guitar in tune, and if I'm going to play with the capo, I make sure I put the capo on whatever fret I want it in, and then I tune again with the capo on in that position, because I want my guitar to not only be in tune with itself, but with the other people in the band. So tuning is a big deal. Everyone will love you for it. You need to be able to tune to yourself, tune to your bandmate, your friend that's playing guitar. I have several tuners. I have 2 different pedal boards, one small board, one larger pedal board, and I have a tuner on each of those, electronic tuners that just stay on the board. And I have, at the teaching studio, a Boss TU2. It's just like a stomp box pedal. You stomp on and turn it off, turn it on. And then these kind of tuners are really handy. And I've turned it around so that this is on the front instead of the back. It's just a clip-on, and you just hit a string. And if it's flat, you can see when I approach the correct pitch, there, it's in the green. That's in tune. So the B, pretty close. That's flat. That's sharp. I'm going to bring it down. So it's just in tune. It's pretty good. A little flat. New strings. There's my D, 4 string. Alright. A is the 5th string, just like our diagram. A is the 5th string. A is the 5th string. So now, it's in tune with itself, and it's in tune like this. So these little clip-on tuners are pretty handy. You can change, they often, you can tune it, set it so it's tuned down a half step if you're playing like Hendrix or Stevie Ray Vaughan and you need your everything down a half step, or if you want like an open tuning or down a whole step. So down a half step, like Hendrix or Stevie Ray Vaughan, you will take all of your strings and shift them down 1/2 step. So E becomes E flat, A becomes A flat, D becomes D flat, G becomes G flat, B becomes B flat, E becomes E flat. And still, if your E is now E flat, this system still works because you're still in standard tuning, just everything is down a half step. So you're still going to be able to tune to yourself or tune to the bass player and then tune yourself as well. So this is what you're tuning to, and this is why. Open string, E, 5th fret A, next string open is A. D at the 5th fret, next string open is D. So you need those to line up. This A and this A. This D and that D. This G and that G. B. This is the one you have to kick back on. So instead of being in the 5th fret, you're in the 4th. B to B, and then E to E. So that's about it. Practice, your ear will get better. Not everybody hears when things are a little sharp or a little flat. That comes with time, but having an electronic tuner so you can visually see it and then hear those out of tune pitches come together, that will help. So I'll just do a couple more of these. I'll just kind of randomly. Okay, so I just kind of randomly tuned some strings. I know that the thick string is in tune. That's E. I want to go to the 5th fret and make sure my 5th string is in tune. It's not. It's flat. So I'm going to tune this until that beating slows and gradually comes together. Okay, that's in tune. E and A. Now I know this A is in tune. I'm going to check the 4th string. So I go to the 5th fret and hit that against the 4th string. See how I'm finding it? And you want to be careful too. If you're pushing this up, pulling it down, squeezing too hard, you'll take it sharp. You don't want to bend this up or pull it. So if you're tuning here, notice I'm pushing in and I'm not letting it move around because I don't want to bend it out of tune and then tune out of tune. Okay? So if it were really flat, now this is where I kick back. And then notice I'm tuning these slowly too. I'm not cranking away on it. I'm letting it come up to pitch. If I'm sharp and I'm going to come down like this, if this A note is sharp, I'm going to come down till it matches, and I might come a little low below the pitch, like this, and then tune up to it. And the reason for that is I want this pressure here to not be, slack, but I want to come a little low and then tune it up so it's nice and tight. Okay, that's it. So try this on your own. Just kind of take one of your strings a little out of tune and practice tuning it up, and then take another one out of tune and practice tuning it up. But this is the system. So tune to yourself, tune to a tuner, practice tuning to a piano, tuning to your friend that plays guitar, to a recording. Your ear will get better and better, and then you'll just be able to hear it more and more. So that's it. That's how you tune your guitar. All right. Take care.